That way you can download it. I don't think the cloud will let you download it. So we'll talk about the last two keys, and then we'll go through the tool. We'll show you some slides of the tool, because that makes it, it's really easy to understand and explain that way. Because when we teach it, we usually teach from the slides, and then we'll open the real live tool, right? So they know what's coming. They know what's coming, right? So we will go with that. Let's get started. So let me share my screen. And why is that slide deck not open? Here we go. Let's open it. But that didn't share. Oh, what's going on there? I don't know why I didn't not open that slide. I'll just share my screen.
There you go.
Okay. Okay, so just wrapping up, you recall that when we finished up last week, one of the last things we were talking about was what we used to call, we don't necessarily call this anymore, but we used to call it the best of the best goal achievement. When everyone understands what the goal is, they understand why it's important, they understand how we're going to get there, and then they also identify their part. What are they going to do? And that my is so important. And what you heard David say is that, if we assign them the my, then it's not theirs, right? And so very different than if you give me a chance. I love to quote Dr. Deming. Remember Edwards Deming, the quality guru, who spent many years in Japan, then came out to the United States. He said that if you want to understand cause and effect in any job, you've got to talk to the person standing within 12 feet of the job. So that's what my is. The person that's standing within 12 feet of the job will identify. And we have seen, as have you, as so many examples of people that were at the front line of the job who had ideas and insights that no one else would have ever thought of. And so that's so important here, right?
Mm-hmm. So real quick with that. So when we talk to that last piece there, we bring up the we ask participants, what is micromanagement? When we use the word micromanagement, what are we talking about? What's your definition of it? And then we get the different definitions from participants in the classroom, and we tell them this is how Blaze defines micromanagement. I tell you what the goal is. I tell you what you have to do to achieve the goal, and then I'll hold you accountable to the results that I expect you to get by the way I told you how to do it. Right? So I tell you what the goal is. I tell you how to achieve the goal. Then I hold you accountable to the results that I want you to get. Leadership is, I tell you what the goal is, because as a senior leader, that's the authority I have to tell you what the goal is. Then I ask you, how are you going to achieve it? And then I also ask, what is it you need from me as your leader to make sure that you're going to be able to achieve the goal? And that's leadership. So we use this as a way to really stress that point. Micromanagement is this, and then leadership is this. And this is our approach. Our approach is all about leadership. It's not about micromanagement. You know that already, but this is where we kind of interject that conversation in there, just so you know.
Yeah.
Very good.
Thanks, David.
Yes, thanks. Okay, so then we have them do an exercise. I think we got to this last week, what, why, and how, and or for a goal they have. If it's an organizational goal, if it's an individual goal, it's still what, why, and how, but it's really how is really it's one of my goals, right? So the sooner we can get them working on a goal, the better. And then we go to the second key of execution, visibility. And we use this slide. David mentioned this slide last week. If only half the stadium can see what's going on at the World Cup, they can see the score. That's not very helpful, right? So this idea that everyone has to see what's going on. What are the actions being taken? What's the score? And we would say it has the greatest impact on engagement because it addresses all four parts of engagement. I feel valued, I feel connected, I can see how I'm contributing, and I'm growing. So this idea of visibility is so important. And we're, again, trying to take it to a whole nother level with the Blaze Digital Compass so everyone can see real time every day, not just the outputs, not just the goals, but what are people actually doing about those goals. And a lack of visibility creates these issues. David, you want to walk us through these?
Yeah, so the first one is it creates pockets of excellence rather than creating a culture of execution. And so when we make this statement, what we're saying is that because you don't have visibility across the entire spectrum of the organization, you have one department, one plant, one team that does really well, but nobody else can see that. And so lack of visibility, it creates these pockets of excellence rather than creating a culture of execution. Now, in all my time in the business world, I've only had one CEO come to this understanding. The CEO, after I left Nomeco and went to work at Covey, the CEO of Nomeco said, "Hey, let's go out and have dinner one night." So we were out talking, and he said, "David, the last year that you were with us, we had a record year." And I was so excited with the fact that we had a record year. But then it dawned on me that if all the other plants operate at the same level as your plant, we would have made so much more money. He goes, and then I got disappointed because I realized how much money we left on the table. And that is a great example of pockets of excellence rather than creating a culture of execution. And so lack of visibility creates that issue. The second thing that it does is this, Kim, if you want to go to the next one, it reduces cross collaboration. If I'm a manufacturing plant in Malaysia and there's another manufacturing plant in the United States, another manufacturing plant in Europe, well, if we can't see what these other plants are doing, it reduces cross collaboration. How can I learn from what the plant in Malaysia is doing, how they are making the product, how they're doing what they're doing? How can I learn if I can't see? So no visibility reduces cross collaboration. And then the other thing that it does is that it nurtures a passive aggressive behavior, right? Because what typically happens is this, because I'm the one getting the great results, I might not have an abundant mentality to share with everybody else. This is what I'm doing, right? And so it's that passive aggressive behavior where I won't play by the rules because I want to remain number one, right? And then the last one is, all right, I think there's one more. It creates an us versus them mentality, right? Because I'm so competitive, I want to be number one. I don't want to share best practices. I don't want the other plants to know what I'm doing, the other departments know what I'm doing. So that lack of visibility creates an us versus them mentality. And so let me ask you, so let me stop here. So have you ever done a 4DX audit, gone into an organization and done an audit of how they were doing 4DX? Did you ever, have you done that there, Malaysia? All right. And so what was it like doing that audit? Did you have some places that did really well versus others that did okay? I mean, what insights can you give me? Is saying, because, you know, did you see any of these things playing out when you did a 4DX audit because there was this lack of visibility?
Yeah, that is the given scenario, David. Supposing we're doing for 5 teams, right? One or two probably doing better. The other is just, you know, they'll be just wandering around and don't know what to do.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Outstanding. All right. Kent.
Beautiful. And you've heard us say this before, but we say it again. Everyone has to see what everyone else is doing on the goals, from the top to the front line, for the senior leaders to the front line. And in the system, the Blaze Digital Compass, it is built so everyone can see everyone else, what everyone else is doing. There could be situations where organizations don't want that, and where that are legitimate. If it's just, well, we don't want everybody to see, yeah, we don't think that's very legitimate. But there could be some situations where, because of proprietary information or whatever else, right, where that might need to be the case. But the vast majority of the time, we would say that that people need to see what everyone else is doing and have the option. And in the tool, you can see how your team's doing, how the organization's doing, how you're doing, right? So any questions or comments about visibility?
Ken, this is the part where we're going to position the compass, correct?
Yes.
So the real selling of the compass is going to take place over here. Okay.
Yeah, so people can see what it does, because up till now they go, well, how do you do that, right? We don't have a really convenient way to do that. What we have is, in fact, Pavan in India, we were just talking with him about this, that so many of his clients just use Excel spreadsheets, right? And they're in a folder, they're in a shared drive, and you can see, and we've talked about those as well, right? That's not visibility, okay? It's just not visibility. And David told you the story about Florence Chadwick before, or was that was in our conference, right?
That was in our conference, yeah.
Have you ever heard of Florence Chadwick?
No, I never heard about it.
Okay, so Florence Chadwick, just quick, she was a lady from the Southern California, United States, who was a distance swimmer. She was the first woman to ever swim the English Channel both directions. The English Channel is about 24 miles, right? Between England and the European coast. So she set a goal to swim from Catalina Island, which is off the coast of Los Angeles, Southern California, from that Catalina Island to the California coast. It's about 22 miles. The day she started swimming, it was so foggy they couldn't see anything. In fact, this is back in the 1950s, so they didn't have GPS. It was foggy, the water was freezing, it was full of sharks. She swam hour after hour after hour and finally gave up. She couldn't see how much further she had left, okay? And she finally said to the people on the boat closest to her, pull me in. I don't know where we are. They didn't know where they were because the only interstellar navigation they had then was in the sky, seeing stars and the sun or the moon or whatever, right? When they got her in the boat, went on to the coast, they realized she was about a mile from the coast. Well, anybody who can swim 20 miles in the ocean can swim a last mile, right? She could have gotten on her back and backstroke last mile. She was interviewed by the papers and said, what happened? She said, I don't want to make excuses, but if I could have seen it, I could have made it. Now, to us, that's what visibility is. When people can see the goal and the actions being taken on the goal, then they're much more likely to achieve the goal. Exactly 2 months later, on a day just like that day in July in 1952 or 54, she started to swim again. The clouds never lifted. The weather never was better, but she finished. In fact, she finished an hour and a half faster than anyone else had swum it. She was the first woman to ever swim it, and she swam it an hour and a half faster than the next best man had ever swum it. And they said, how did you do that? And she said, I kept a mental image of the goal in my mind. I remembered walking out on the California coast on that sad day 2 months ago. I kept thinking of that coastline. I said, no matter what, I'm going to make it to the coastline. I'm going to keep going, keep going, keep going. And she set a world record that took many, many years for someone to break because she kept it in her mind. This is actually one of the first stories in our book, The 3 Keys of Execution, but it's a good story. There are probably a lot of other good stories that that would be more relevant for your people, right? But it's just a story that we tell about keeping the goal in your mind, being visible, being able to see it, or if not, at least being able to keep it in your head. Okay? Anything you'd add, David, as we'll wrap up visibility?
No, we're good.
Okay. So accountability, oh, I'm sorry, we do have the slide. What's your maniacal focus? This is where you could start working with a team or organization around goals. If they wanted now to start talking about their goals and they had done work, this is the time where you would dive in and start doing work, right? This is a great time. They already kind of understand simplicity and visibility. We start talking about what are the things you want to be maniacally focused on. And then we move to the third key, accountability. But you can see there in that where you can spend as much time as you want. Certainly could have done step one when you were working on it, but it's another place to stop and start doing work with them, okay? And what we say is everybody accounts daily for 3 things in the tool. What are the winning moves they took today? How do they feel about the game, playing the game, their sentiment, their engagement, and they're going to collaborate with their team. This is what we want people to do every single day. Quickly and easily, in 60 to 90 seconds, they can do this. Very, very quick, very, very easy on their tool. And we'll show you some slides here that show you exactly what someone would see if they were looking at this tool on their phone. On the computer, slightly different, but on their phone, I forgot we had this slide. You want to speak to this slide, David? Sorry, I forgot about this slide.
Yeah, I know. So as the slide says there, nothing will suffocate execution quicker than a lack of accountability. and so you've heard me say this before in the past. Organizations are really good at negative accountability, but they're equally. Everybody gets negative accountability, but what they fail to understand is this whole concept of positive accountability. And then if you are trying to drive a culture of execution, if I hold one employee to a higher standard than another employee, or if I play favorites with one over the other, that will suffocate execution quicker than anything. And if you have ineffective accountability, you're going to make winning exponentially harder, right? And so what we talk about in our tool, our BDC tool, is that we help to overcome ineffective accountability, and we also help to overcome the lack of accountability. Why is that? Because we have simplicity plus visibility drives accountability. So if you want to do a math formula, S plus V with an arrow pointing to A, simplicity plus visibility drives accountability. And that's why simplicity and visibility are so important. I would make the argument that if an organization doesn't have those two keys, simplicity and visibility, they cannot have principle-centered accountability, right? So the reason we define accountability this way, go on, Kent, to the next slide.
Okay.
The reason we define accountability this way is that what would happen. So accountability in our system, it's a two-way system. A one-way system has a negative impact on the four pillars or the four principles of engagement. Ours is a two-way system, right? And then the next one is personal accountability increases and performance improves, right? So this is why we define accountability this way, is because personal accountability does increase. Why does it increase? Because everybody see what everybody's doing. Just think of, and this is where we talk about, if you go to a play, go to a dance recital, if you go to a sporting event, regardless if the stage is a stage or a stage is a football pitch, when you're out there, everybody can see what everybody's doing. There's no hiding. Everybody's out there. So personal accountability increases with simplicity plus visibility, and that is what improves performance. And then the last point is, Kent, is the visible improvement of one leads to the improvement of many. Why do we say that? Because of cross collaboration. So as I improve, as I get better at what I do, it's going to have an impact on everybody else around me. I'm increasing my circle of influence. Why? Because my performance is improving. People can see my performance is improving. They can learn from me and what I'm doing, right? And so that improvement of myself will ultimately lead to the improvement of many. So any questions about why we define accountability this way? Simplicity plus visibility drives accountability.
No, it's
Make
quite
sense?
clear. David.
Yeah.
It's quite clear. Just one question. The bullet number 2, the point number 2, the 4 pillars of engagement. We are interchangeably using the word principles and pillars. Is it okay?
It's supposed to be principles. It's supposed to be principles. I'm sure that obviously I misspoke when I did that. We did call it pillars, but it should be principles.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you for asking. Thank you for catching that.
See, I'm used to Kent's PowerPoint, so I just go with the flow. You know, I'm used to it. That's good. All right, brother, go to the next slide. Go to the next slide. So we said this before, positive accountability. You know, a lack of accountability from a positive perspective means the top performers will ultimately leave. And this is a critical point, right? Is that organizations need to understand that if you do not have positive accountability, celebrating the wins, celebrating the successes, the top performers are all going to ultimately leave the organization. Why? Because they're not being recognized for the good work that they're doing. And the only people that remain behind are the people that you probably don't want to have stay there in the first place. You know? So when we talk about positive accountability, it's important to have this within the organization.
Absolutely. We then ask people to have a group exercise, a discussion about how they've seen a lack of visibility or a lack of accountability create problems. And then what would you do differently, or what could you do differently? Really some valuable conversations that come up as people talk in their groups about times when they didn't know what each other were doing, or they couldn't see how people were progressing, or there was this accountability where some people had it, but some people didn't. And, so all kinds of issues that we're trying to solve there, but we try to get it into people's own heads around when have I seen, a problem with either one of these areas. Okay. Questions?
Can I ask you something?
Please.
Yeah, Kent, in a typical classroom setting, the workshop with 20 participants, how long will it take for us to reach to this slide from day one? Yeah, the first hour, and how long would it take to come to this slide?
It would depend on how much work you wanted to do around goals to get here, right? If you were just wanting to teach the concepts and not do the work, not work on goals, you could get here, frankly, in half a day, right? Even faster than that.
Are there any videos in between?
What's that?
Are there any videos in between?
There are videos. Well, that's interesting because Dave and I don't typically show videos in the program because we're there, but there are several videos we could use along the way. I mean, we have 64, right? So there are several videos we could recommend. I'll show this one and this one. For example, the story about
Forrest Chadwick.
Forrest Chadwick, we have a video about that. We have several videos about simplicity and visibility and accountability and why there are 3 keys. So there are at least, thinking about what we've taught heretofore, there are probably at least 12 or 15 videos that are 2 to 4 minutes long that you could show.
Yeah, but please bear with us, Kent and David, because what we have done here, we have spoiled our market, our people here. For every 15-20 minutes, maybe we play one video.
Okay.
So those are familiar with us. When I say with Franklin Covey, right? They'll be expecting some videos, that they want to have the Disneyland experience, watching all the wonderful videos and feel nice and all that. So David, this is what we need to do now. We need to segmentize. After a few slides, there'll be one video, probably some exercises. And then we ask a typical question after playing a video. What did you all observe? What do you think about the video? And that will go for another 5-10 minutes. That's how we kill our time here.
Yeah. So all the videos that we've got produced are anywhere between 3 to 5 minutes long, which is good length, right? And then you can either show the video and then reinforce the video with the slides, or teach the slides and then reinforce with the video. Right, because a lot of what we're saying here you will also hear in the video, but we segue to some really good illustrations, some graphics, some pictures as we're talking. Different visuals will pop up on the screen, and it allows people to see what we're talking about in pictures. So we can easily embed some slides in there for you. That won't be a problem at all.
Yeah, but what running in my mind is, David, for each of the introducing each of the keys, right? There should be one video, like introduction.
We got all
video.
that.
Yeah. But if we can put it all these into a 3 days deck, then we will slice and dice over here, whether we want to do it over a day, over 2 days, maybe a half a day talk session, we can slice and dice later.
Okay. Good.
Thank you.
We will do that. We will do that. I mean, we have them. We just, we do. We absolutely have them. They're all in the Blaze Digital Compass. They'll see all of them in the Compass, but there'll be a good review. You will have shown them to them in the training, and then they'll see them in the Blaze Digital Compass over time.
Yeah. So Kent, I'm glad you brought that up, because that's critical what you just said there, because they see the videos in the classroom and then they see the same videos in the Compass. That's where the reinforcement piece takes place.
Yeah.
Right. So after you teach the content, and you've maybe been gone away for a couple weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, they're now going to see those same videos again, and it's going to reinforce what they've already been taught. Right. So that's good. I'm glad that's good. Thanks for bringing that up, Kent. Yeah, because they are in the BDC.
Yeah, we think people need to see them more than once and hear it more than once. Okay. So the other thing, Ian, that you'll want to do, we think, is eventually you'll create some of your own videos.
Yeah, that's a plan.
And so you can even use exactly what we did and just talk about that, but use your own example, right? So that'll be very easy for you to do. And with iPhones, they're so easy to create now and have edited very inexpensively. So you'll want to do that as well, and we'll be happy for you to do that. Just another way you make it more of fit your audience.
Sure.
Oh yeah, there's Nadia. I know her. She's in the video, right? Yeah. Satish, yeah, he was in that video, right? So there you go. Okay. Now we're going to talk about the Blaze Digital Compass, and again, we're going to walk you through some slides here that look exactly like the tool, and then we'll go look at the tool live. But here we just say that this cloud-based mobile platform is designed to facilitate both visibility and accountability. Now, a quick reminder, the tool is in the cloud. It does not load onto their computer or their phone. They will want to set an icon on their phone, but it's just that. It's a hot link to the tool in the web, right? And that's important because there are people who say, I don't want to load something on my phone. Well, you're not going to load anything on your phone or even on your computer. It's actually in the cloud, okay? Built on Amazon Web Services, right?
Yeah, so when you get here to this slide and you start talking about the technology, either this slide or the slide coming up, you want to interject this in there to make sure they understand this, is that we have designed this tech tool, you have designed this tech tool to do all the heavy lifting for them. Right? We've taken care of the school boards, we've taken care of visibility, we've taken care of accountability. We've done all the heavy lifting for them. So that's the power of this tool. So they, as soon as they start using the BDC, they're off and running to the races. Right? There's not a 3-month learning curve, a 6-month learning curve. I mean, it's about as immediate as you can. So the BDC has been designed to improve the lift for the organization and make it easier to lift, which at the end of the day is going to save them a lot of money, right? Because we've done all the work, it's going to save them a lot of money. They don't have to go out and figure this by themselves and do it on their own.
Yes. It also saves a tremendous amount of work in making that happen and keeping up just with keeping the scoreboards updated. Okay. Now, we're not saying that organizations can't have local scoreboards on a wall somewhere. That's fine, but they're only valuable for the people that are standing there. No one else can see them, right? Which is why we literally were on the phone maybe a year ago with the director for an organization. He said that he literally had the CEO send every salesperson send him a picture of their local scoreboard because they're all salespeople were all working from home during COVID. And so he had 400 pictures of scoreboards coming to him. Well, that's untenable. You can't make that work. You might look at them one time, but how long does it take even just to look at 400 pictures? I mean, it's beyond belief, right? So it isn't very helpful to do that at all. Okay, the other piece that the Blaze Digital Compass does that's really very nice is it creates increased engagement, productivity, and retention. Why? Because people are collaborating and connecting in this tool. And so we're going to show how we do that. We've already talked about these 3 steps. In fact, it's really kind of duplication. I added this slide here, even though we talked about it before. We're asking everyone to do 3 things, as we said before, how they feel about being here, what's the winning action or winning move they took, and how they collaborated with their team to get better. So every day, and you'll decide the frequency of this, but the system is set up so they can get a text every single day and or an email. You can set it where they get it once a week. You can set it where they get twice a week. You can set it as many times you want. But from that text or that email, they can click on it and go directly to the system, okay? And this is the first thing they'll see every 24-hour period. Once you pass midnight, first they'll see Alice, and they'll be asked, how are they experiencing work today? Alice stands for Artificial Intelligence Learning, Inclusion, and Culture Expert. She works with, she is an artificial intelligence tool. She works with a lot of algorithms, which are only getting bigger and better. And as an organization does more of this, she'll understand them better in the organization. So how long does it take to punch one of those buttons on your phone or on your computer?
Like 1 second?
Yeah, 1 second. Exactly, Nadia. Exactly. So 1 second, they've told you how they feel about working in a day. Think about the value of an organization finding out from every single person how they feel every day. Even if they only get it once a week, that's 52 times more frequently than if they do an annual survey. So just a quick, right? Second thing, they're asked to put it in action for one of the goals. Now, we've changed this tool. I think we've shown this to you. That in the drop-down, there now are only goals there. We don't have commitments and goals or actions. It's confusing for people. So we only have goals. I'll show you how that works on the phone in just a minute. But to the right, you can see for each goal, there's an action. Those are actions that people took, okay? So they put in the system. How long does it take to type in an action? 10 seconds, 15 seconds, 30 seconds, right? Not long, right? Doesn't take long. Here's an action I took on this goal. By the way, something that we have just added is assigned tasks. For example, at Domino's, where we work with Domino's restaurants, they want every general manager to order cheese once a week, to do the schedule once a week, to do a variety of things once a week. They want every employee to show up on time with their uniform on. They want every pizza to be in the oven within 2 minutes of being ordered. They want, you understand? So there are some preset actions that people can check off that they've done and then add any action that they have done. So that's an option. You'll have to use it. There'll be some clients where you wouldn't use it, and there'll be some clients where you might use it, okay? The third thing is they collaborate with the team. And here's where they can see what other team members have done. Oh, I thought I had a different slide in there. What happened here? Why did it go back? I have no, I just got a new mouse and new mouse, sorry. So you collaborate with the team. So now you can see what other people on the team are doing. And here's where you can give high fives or make comments. And when you go to the live tool, we show people how that actually happens. Now, once they've done those three things in 60 to 90 seconds, how do you feel with Alice? What's an action you took? And you give at least one comment to someone else about something they've done on your team, collaborate with your team. You can also give a high five. Then you are taken to the home screen on the phone. Now, this process, we're going to wait and talk about this in a minute because I'm actually going to share with you on my phone the Blaze Digital Compass, okay? So this is what we'll do. When David and I are teaching this, we'll show a few slides and now we take them to the live slides. So I'm going to share my content, share my screen. So now on my phone, in just a second, start broadcast, it's going to pop up. I'm doing this live real time. And you're going to be able to see my home screen. No.
Yeah, there it is.
There it is. I don't know why I was being so slow. Okay, so now this is the actual home screen of my phone. You can see my family at Christmas time back there in the picture. Don't worry about that. But you'll see on the bottom, you'll see I have all of these folders. One of the folders says BDC. I click on the Blaze Digital Compass. And, oh, I forgot, I've already done that one today. So let's go to this one, let's go to this one. So the first thing that pops up is Alice. I give a green. So winning tasks, these are those tasks I told you about where you can have pre-assigned tasks, okay? You don't have to have them, but if you have pre-assigned tasks, then it asks, did I test the BDC today? Yep. Did I do an organizational level task? Not yet, but so I did do that one. And now I come to the bottom, and I give a high five to Alexander and also make a comment, glad you liked the story. It's actually a video about me talking about my son brushing his teeth in 7 layers of toothpaste. Okay, so I watched the video, so I know what it was. Now it brings me to the home screen. On the home screen, I can access the organization's goals.
Okay, yeah, so real quick, Kenny. So yeah,
Please.
I want to get your feedback. Ian, Satish, Nadia, when you look at our tech tool and you see these buttons, give me feedback. What do you think?
For me, it's more like it's I like the colors, the tabs and the colors.
Yes.
It's a serious game. It's a serious game that we are playing, but in a more more fun.
Okay. Satish, what about yourself?
It looks great, and I mean, if it was me uploading this, I'll do it on a daily basis without having to wait for a week to just share my goals. I can share my experiences almost immediately.
Yes.
It just keeps you motivated. I like it. It's really good.
Nadia,
Sometimes you
what
win,
about you? Yeah, good.
Yeah. So as the first page like this, I mean, it's not too, I mean, yeah, it's simple and not too many words. And even we are looking at the icon, so it's straightforward. So we know view goals, and that's literally a ball going into a goal post. Yeah. So it's straightforward.
So when you think of my 40X and you think of the Blaze Digital Compass, what are some of the differences that you see between the two systems? My 40X and our Compass. Yep.
Okay. Don't mind me answering this because Nadia, I've not seen we don't use my 40X yet.
Okay.
Anyway, this is more, I mean, this is simple, and I would say this is more predictive.
Yeah.
This is more predictive.
Yes, we think so too.
Yeah.
And so in Malaysia, do these icons make sense?
Yep. It's attractive,
Okay.
David. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, good.
By the
David,
way, please go ahead.
Sorry, Ken, this is me, just me being me. I can behave like a monkey stung by a bee sometimes, I always. So when we say view dashboard, Ken, I remember you used the word leaderboard. Okay, we need to know what is leaderboard, and is it leaderboard? Okay, it's over there. Now, is the leaderboard is meant only for leaders, for them to see the aerial performance, the aerial view?
No, the leaderboard is to see who's the leader on the team from 1 through 100, 1 through 1,000. That's what the leaderboard is. It's everyone on the team in order of points by week or by month or year to date.
So when we deal with the clients, supposing we're doing this for the leaders, a group of 20 leaders, right? Mm-hmm. So there will be 20 leaders' names will appear on the leaderboard, correct?
Yes.
And I'm being the top guy in the company. I can access to each of the leaderboards.
Yes.
To assess how well are they doing in the 3 areas:
yes.
engagement, productivity, and retention.
Yes.
Yep.
Excellent. So that's for me. But can a player access to leaderboard?
Yes.
Can. So that creates a greater visibility, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Got it.
Yeah. So
no,
it's interesting.
No, sorry
right?
at all.
So
it's great.
Yeah. So it's interesting. We were just having this conversation last week within Blaze, and so right now where it says View Dashboard, that's actually going to be Analytics. We're changing the name of that tab to Analytics, and here's the reason why. Because in the dashboard, what you get are the predictions, right? Whether or not you're going to achieve the goal, Ken, if you click down on the down tab, go back to click on view dashboard again, click on the performance dashboard. This is where you get the engagement, right? You get the engagement score. So if you want to click on engagement.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm looking at the Domino's one that let me change my group review real quick. I'm looking at the Domino's version, and this is their trial, and their trial's ended. So let me switch to,
Just go to Blaze Performance. Go to Blaze Performance. Just
go
to
Blaze Performance. That's going to, group, Denny's team. Okay, now.
All right, so you can see right now, goal 1. Now this is our dummy site, right? You can see we're at risk to achieving goal 1. Why are we at risk? It's because we're measuring the behaviors in the system, right? So everything tells us, right, that right now, if people don't start doing more, right, we're going to be at risk of not achieving on our goal. So now, slide over to goal 2.
Yeah.
Just go back up. Slide over to goal 2. So you see that we're on track for this goal, and slide over to goal 3. Right, we can see that we're on track for this goal. So this visibility right here. So we will tell the client, based on what we are seeing take place in the system, you're either behind, at risk, or on track to achieving your goal. The power of that is insane. We can tell the client whether or not they're going to achieve their goals, right? It's a prediction. It's a prediction, which is powerful. Right? And so now if you click down on performance dashboard to show the different. So we got the engagement dashboard. And so once again, right now we got over 79% overall engagement. 6 out of 16 people are participating in the system. So that's red. We can see how our sentiment score has been moving up and down, right? From the 29th of March to the 4th of April. And then scroll back up again. And then just go down to life balance, Kent. And so we are looking at critical areas. We can let the organization know, do your employees feel like they have life balance? Do they feel like they belong? Are they safe working here? And then scroll down just a little bit more. What is their self-esteem like? I mean, these are powerful insights. And then slide down one more. And then you can see here overall, right? So we can see here the team average, because nothing's been done here, but we can give a breakdown of the faces. Like 22% are green, 33% are yellow, et cetera, right? And so the fact that the client has this power, this information in their phone, for crying out loud. I mean, it's just insane, the information that they're getting. This is really analytics. So we're going to be changing the name, performance, the performance predictive scoreboard, engagement analytics. And so then you got the leaderboard here, and all the leaderboard is looking at the amount of points. Notice who's number 1. Nadia, you see who's number 1 right here?
Yeah, that's Kent Vaughn. That's supposed to be Kent Vaughn. I'm not sure if it says David Williams. I have no idea why it said
David Williams is number 1, right?
Yeah.
And so this is kind of the fun gamification piece, right? That lets everybody know how everybody's doing points wise in the system, right? Who's engaged, who's involved. And then this retention dashboard, once again, it just gives an overall view of what's happening. Now notice, like if I'm a manager and I haven't given any guidance feedback, it's at 0%. This is guidance feedback. I know that when I'm giving feedback, I'm only giving like 3.3 words in the system. So if I keep telling somebody, great job, great job, great job, great job, what impact is that going to have? Right. And so we want the manager's feedback to be robust, right? And so we talk about positive feedback, we talk about guidance feedback. Positive feedback, hey, this is what you did well, and it's why you need to keep doing it. It's important for you to keep doing it. Guidance feedback is, this is what needs to stop. Here's a recommendation. What are your thoughts? And then what are we going to be doing to keep this thing moving forward? So, I mean, this is information that the client just doesn't have any visibility to right now. So I know I kind of got us sideways there, Ken.
Yeah.
I apologize for that.
No, that's good.
David, guess what, David? This is the tool the client can use for their weekly review, monthly review. They don't need PowerPoints anymore.
No, they don't.
Nope.
And so and so I mean, this becomes the report card for every employee within the organization, right?
Yep.
And so now, guess what? So let's say I'm gonna pick on Nadia. So Nadia is my boss, and Nadia tells me I've been doing a bad job. And now I can go in there with all this documentation and say, Nadia, what are you talking about? Look at everything that I've done in the system. Look at all the comments and feedback that I've been getting from my peers and for people above you, right? And so now all of a sudden I got documentation that says this is what I've been doing. Or Nadia can say, David, tell me, how do you think your year's been? Well, it's been kind of rough. Really? Look at all the great things you've done. Now she can pull the report, right? It is no longer subjective. Performance reviews are no longer subjective. It is based upon data, the data that people are putting in the system. And you're right, it can be a weekly review, it can be a monthly review, quarterly review. Now all of a sudden, because this is taking place daily, now I got the data to back up my performance reviews. It's my report card. And think how much time and money that saves organizations to not have to do performance reviews anymore, because they're doing daily performance management. It's a huge savings.
Yeah.
It's huge.
The talent management, they can do their job much better with the tool.
Yes.
The HR department, they will know the pulse of the people, the organization, by looking at the tool.
Yep.
Yes.
Right? And it also drives the behavior change in those, some leaders, they glamorously say that they're very busy, they don't have time to do the EQ part.
Right.
Yep.
So when I involve in this gamification every day, right, deliberately, so basically I'm driving behavior change in me to be more engaged with my people.
Exactly.
I work on my EQ as well. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So let me
And with
show you for your information about how easy it is to change things, because your clients are going to know this, and you'll know this for yourselves, right? So if I want to change anything in the tool, if I am an administrator, which I am, and David is, and you will be, right? If I click on the top right hand side, you'll see my picture. If you don't have your picture there, it has your name. If I click on picture, now I can manage the account. I can look at the admin panel. You saw me change the group view so I can look at different groups, right? So if I hit admin panel, now, and top left, the little three lines, you'll see I can do all kinds of things. If I go to user listing, I can actually create a new user. I can send a user registration. I can create a mass registration, all right there. You don't have to call IT. I go back to the arrow, the little horizontal lines. Look at goals right here. You can change goals right here by team or department or group, whatever it is, right here in one place. Change goals. If I want to add some videos, I go to resources, weekly videos, and you'll see at the top it says add a new video. If I click on that, you put in the title of the video, the description of the video, the URL, the link to wherever you have it saved. We say, for example, we have some we used to use YouTube, now we're using a different source. You can have it on a private YouTube channel. You just copy the URL, put it there, and you see if there's order 24 right now, that video will show up as the 24th on the 24th week. If you want to show the third week, you can change this to number 3. Hit save, you've added a new video. That's how quick it is, even add a video. Does this make sense?
Yep.
We wanted this to be, when David and I first created this system, and we partnered with Denny Nip, one of our partners, ultimately what I said was the admin panel needs to be so simple that a guy past 50, me, can do it, right? It doesn't have to be some young 25-year-old, 30-year-old who had a computer in their hand their whole lives. Does that make sense to you? It needs to be very easy. So you can see It takes almost no training. Okay, now what are you going to say, David?
Yeah, so click on the lines again.
Yeah, okay.
I want and then click on goals.
Okay.
Then go to Blaze Performance to click edit. No. Hold on a second, man. Click on the plus sign. Excuse me. Click on the plus sign for Blaze Performance.
Yeah, there it goes right there.
Click on add goal. And let's type in, so let's put a goal. help Malaysia go live by 5/1/2022.
And
Then
we
click
said,
save goal. Yep, save
I can
goal.
see how many actions I want even per week,
Yep, do save goal.
per person.
Now go back to the scoreboard, the main landing page. Go
Right.
back to the dashboard.
Yep.
Nadia, this is the real execution.
Click on view goals. There you go.
Remember, we always
See
talk
that?
about the behavior change, right? This is the behavior change, the leader and the player.
And so there you go. It's in the system. Help Malaysia go live by 5/1/2022. It's done, just like that. And so, I mean, your clients will love this. Now, when you're ready to start using this in your group, I know you're probably ready within the next couple of days, if not sooner. We can schedule a call, and we can help whoever's going to be the administrator to understand how to use it. So, hey, here's an email. If you run into any problems, email us. We can get you set up in this whole entire team, Alex and everybody, set up in the system, begin using the tool so you can practice and mess around with it. You can't break anything in it, right? So don't worry about messing something up. And but I mean, you can see just how easy it is to go in there and make the changes. And once you understand the feel and the layout of the admin panel, it becomes very intuitive. Becomes very, very intuitive.
Sure. David, can I ask you something? We have leaderboard. How many boards are there? Leader and player, or just one board, leaderboard?
Okay, so click on the scorecards. So the scorecards is what am I doing as an individual, right? So you notice Kent's red, right? That means he's kind of red overall. He's done his personal sentiment for the day. He's 1 for 1. He's done his daily action, but he hasn't participated in the daily learning. The daily learning is yellow. Now, as soon as he does the daily learning, that will go to green. If he doesn't do it on Monday, then the daily learning turns red on Monday. Then Tuesday morning comes around, it's yellow again, right? So that way you're making sure that people are participating in the daily learning. So what we're the reason Kent's red right now is because he hasn't done he hasn't done all 3 of the things that he needs to be doing. He hasn't done actions, he hasn't done sentiment, and he hasn't done daily learning, right? Now, let's go to the team scoreboard, Kent. All right. So now this is Kent. This is his team, right? So how is he winning on? So this is how the team is doing, right? So Kent is part of this team. This is how the team is doing. And then slide over one more. And this is how the organization is doing. So on
David,
the score,
sorry, David, the color is in amber. Would that mean that they're doing fairly well? Would that change to green?
So yellow means that as long as they get it done before 12 o'clock Monday night, it's going to be green. If they don't or be 12 o'clock Tuesday night for you, right? So right now it just means
David, except for sentiment. Sentiment means they're a yellow face on average, not an orange face or a red face.
Yes, yeah, right.
So,
right. Because somebody
Ian, sentiment, you're pretty good.
Yeah, so again, go back to your scorecard again, Kent. So let me you stand corrected. Right, because Kent has done sentiment himself, he's green. But if you go to the team, not everybody in the team has done the sentiment, so it's yellow. Right, and then if you go to the organization, same thing. Right, there has not enough people have done it.
So the message is the team wins and loses together.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
End of the day engagement, team engagement.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Right, and so we're using 3 different words differently here in the system, and you've already picked up on it, right? So we got scorecards, right, which is what these are, because we're keeping score. These are the scorecards. We got dashboards, right, which we're changing to analytics, and then we got the leaderboard. We got the leaderboard, which shows how So the leaderboard, you can look at it based on a team, a department, a plant, the entire organization. So whatever way the organization is structured, you can look at it from just an individual team, like the HR team. Well, then who's number 1 through 5 in the HR team, and well, the HR team is part of the plant. So there's 500 employees in the plant. So this is how I rank against all 500 employees. Then there's 50,000 employees in the organization.
Right.
This is how I rank against all 50,000 employees in the organization.
Right.
So this is what the leaderboard's looking at.
So my summary will be this, David, that the scorecard is for the leader and the player.
Right.
The dashboard is basically the 3 seconds dashboard.
Right.
Right. And the leaderboard is the top guy in the organization can have the aerial view of the various leaders. How well are they performing? Correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Excellent. Satish, make
Yeah.
sense, Satish? Satish, we can use this for a HOD meeting, for a business review session. We don't need PowerPoint slides, we don't need to show Excel, nothing. Is
Yeah.
that?
And you'll see
Yeah.
that you can see the last 90 days, the last 30 days, the last 7 days, or you can even create a custom time frame. So whatever your presentation is about. So now I can see. So if you see when we went to 90 days, the overall leader changed. Denny's got 12,718 points. He has more than double what David has. And David and I are virtually the same. Ha
Oh, be quiet.
So,
Yeah.
David, at one point when we are progressing well, and when we do kind of like a monthly review with the various officers around the world, right? We can use this, Kent.
yes,
All I need to show is my leaderboard, right? My dashboard. That's all.
right.
Yeah.
Good.
And what's great about it is that the client is going to start getting insights easily within the first 2 weeks. And all this data is changing real time, right? So anytime somebody does something in the system, regardless of where they're located, it has an impact on the overall data, right? So the data is changing real time, which I just think is great. Now, if you go to Clint, if you don't, Kent, if you don't mind, click on record actions. So these are the tasks that I have to do, right? So reach out to one LinkedIn content, contact, continue to nurture partnerships, and then just click off on all 4 of those, Ken, if you don't mind doing that. All right, so those are tasks that everybody, and then select goal. So click down on select goal. And so add 1 million sales by 9/30/2022. And then if I wanted to take a picture of a contact that I interacted with today, like if I wanted to do a screenshot on my phone and say, hey, this is the person that I spoke to, I could do a screenshot, and then I could actually add the picture to the tool, right? So I can actually go in there and take it. So like he'll take a picture of that, and he can use the photo. Click add.
Accountability.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy what you can. So if a plant's trying to do 5S, if an employee wants to talk about, if a group of employees are having a celebration, they can take a selfie and put it into the system so everybody can see the celebration. I mean, you can have so much. It's serious, but you can also have fun with it as well, right? So that's the beautiful thing about it.
So Nadia, we can ask Alex to do this now, to find out whether he's really sick or he's just faking it.
No, you can't do that.
Yeah, yep. So it didn't upload the way I wanted it to. Anyway, you get the idea, right? So I can take a picture right out of if it's already in my file, and upload the image. So you get the idea that it's really meant to give some people so many choices, right, about things they can do.
And so the one last thing before you go back to record actions. And so there's this thing called the playbook. If there is, like, if you want to add like some critical teaching, whether it be leadership, whether it be based around execution, you can add what we call a playbook, so they can click on that, and it could be a PDF that they see that you've uploaded in the system, just as a way to, you know, help them get better at what they're doing. So you can even add information here to help them be more successful in the jobs that they're doing or what on the goals they're trying to achieve. So what else, Kit, would you like to go through?
I think we've shown, I mean, you know, we could spend more time on this, but I think we've shown the majority of it. I'm also mindful of Nadia taking her daughter to school. But you can see, so all the slides that are left in the slide deck are just how to do everything. I'm sorry, let me just give this back. Go share screen. Yep. So everything we have left in the slide deck is really around the readiness and performance process, keeping score, valuing sentiment, establishing goals, understanding behavior, collaborating together, personal improvement. And so we take them through each one of these steps about how that's essential in any organization. But now that they've seen the Blazers or Compass, now they see, oh, wow, it's so much easier to keep score. It's so much easier to value sentiment. We would say that everyone has to be able to do all of these things to be successful in their organization. So
you want to go through those slides, just click through them, not too fast so they can see them, but just so they can understand what you're talking about.
So let's just, yeah, so keeping score. We talk about several ways to keep score with Alice. And we talk about the Alice spot. The Alice spot comes up with 5 questions if there's a decrease in sentiment over a 2 or 3 day period of time. And those questions can even be customized. Alice measures sentiment in 4 areas. You saw that, so you've seen all this because we walked through the tool. There's an engagement heat map where you see this score, this graph here that shows you by date. We looked at that in the tool. The heat map can actually show you by team and by time of day, etc. This is a map that's actually coming. It's not available right now. And then we go to establishing goals. And here's where we can do a lot of work around goals. You can set this up whenever you want to. You can do goals earlier. You can teach them the process, then come back and do goals now. You start walking through how the tool shows them goals. You've seen that. And the predictive dashboard is so predictive because it's focused on the actions being taken towards the goal. Understanding behavior, people putting in their winning moves every day or clicking off pre-assigned tasks. Collaborating together with the on the hub in the hub, and we talk about, you know, giving comments, high fives, or this is a change that's going to be happening. This little red envelope right now is where a manager can send an email to one of their team members. And remember, David talked about that guidance feedback. What we're going to be changing is they can send it as a text or an email to be able to choose it. So, for example, one of our clients, they say, well, our people don't really look at emails, but they look at texts. So a leader will be able to send a direct text or a direct email right out of the system. They see something that David said and they're wondering about it, and they can actually send right then a text or an email that goes directly to their phone or their computer and not just in the tool, okay? So they don't have to back out and go anywhere else. And this gives this real-time 360 relevant, impactful feedback that people can see what's going on in the organization with the hub. David,
yeah,
you want to say something about Pioneer Balloon, just real quick, what they said the other day?
About what? About
will people do this?
Yeah, so this company, they're the world's largest balloon manufacturer. And they said, well, we're not so sure if our people will use the tool. And I said, do they use Facebook? And they said, yes. I said, then they'll use the tool. They'll use the tool. And the red envelopes there, I know Kent talked to that. I like to tie that back to the 7 habits. Habit number 5, seek first to understand, then to be understood. I'm putting something in the system, but my boss doesn't quite understand how it connects to the goals. This is an opportunity for them to use that red envelope to practice habit number 5. seek first to understand, then to be understood. And we're going to have pre-populated messages in there that says, hey, Ian, saw your commitments for the week or saw your action for the week. I don't understand how it impacts the goal. When can we get together to talk so you can tell me why you did what you did, right? Something along those lines. But it gives an opportunity to provide that seek first to understand without saying, no, you did something wrong. Don't do that. It gives you an opportunity now as a manager to truly seek first to understand. And so that email notification goes out, that text goes out with that in mind. So it's setting up the conversation for success rather than failure. And that's the power of that red envelope right there, just to help you understand that.
Beautiful. So then we come back to the 3 keys and wrap it up. So I know we're past our time. Questions or comments, thoughts?
Tim, Nadia, Alex, Satish.
Yeah, I mean, as the content, it is straightforward. Just that I do need to read more based on my notes just now, and I'll let you know, I think, on Thursday if I have more questions. But at the moment, everything is clear.
Great.
So on Thursday, Kent, between now and Thursday, do we want to have them sign up in the tool?
I think so.
So they can be, so they can be using it. So over the next 24 to 36 hours, you will get a registration link from us to register to begin using the tool.
We've done it, David.
Are you doing it now?
We already registered, yeah.
Okay, all right, good. You're good to go. All right, cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know that you're already doing that. Okay, good.
And what we're going to do now is we're going to key in our goals, the real-time goals and everything. And we're going to play with the tool. We're going to play with the tool.
Okay.
Now. Starting now. Yeah. We were
All
waiting
right,
for this.
Fantastic.
David, are we wrapping up for the day?
Yes.
I think good. Yeah, yep.
Yeah. Can I request this, David? The first thing is this slide number 15. The pillar needs to change to principles, right? You're going to do that, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Kit will get that done. Yeah.
What we need to put up all these into a 3 days deck. The introduction videos and whatnot, every single thing that should go into the deck.
Give me till Friday, my Friday, your Saturday to get that done.
Okay, cool. And the workbook, you're gonna resend the email. Yeah, you're gonna resend to me.
Yeah.
With the exercise lines and every single thing. And then the numbers on the page, on the pages, right? It must synchronize with our slides as well.
Yes.
Yeah. If you notice, there is slide 50, but I doubt there is 51 or 49.
Yeah, no, we'll have to get those. Yeah, we have to do that. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, so that is done. That is done. The other thing is this, Kent and David, remember I mentioned that probably you need to do the preview, like a product preview first.
Right.
To some of our key clients, the key prospects, rather.
Yes.
Would that be fine with you, David, Ken?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I won't do it now.
So what we have done is, for of us, what we have done is we have sized up about 20 of them, 20 different organizations. Not multiple people from the same organization, 20 different organizations. They want to hear from you. What we have done is the context we set is, hey, how leader drives culture of execution. It's about leader and the team engagement here. So the narrative that should come from you is all about leadership. Leaders drives the execution culture. We're looking at the final week of the month.
Okay.
Because the first week of May, we have the Ramadan festival. Yeah, the Eid festival.
Yes.
So we're looking at the final. Yeah. Can I get your schedule first, Kent? 1 or 2 options. Is it okay, Satish? It's either Tuesday. What would you prefer? Our Friday, Satish?
Our Thursday will be better.
Our Thursday. That will be your Wednesday, David.
Yep.
When are we talking? In May?
No, this month.
April.
On April.
April, the last week, the final week of April. So we can look at the dates now. Preferably it's a Thursday, our Thursday here.
Hmm.
And our Wednesday, so the 27th. So you're talking about the morning of the 28th?
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. So what we're gonna do, brother, I'll communicate with you directly, Ken, David, the different organizations, the background,
Good,
what the
yeah,
people are gonna
yeah.
come from, and probably we're gonna ask them the top 3 things that they want to hear from this session on the 28th.
Good.
So we can have a dress rehearsal, between 3 of us maybe, and then I want to put you to the right audience. You need to know your audience.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Cool.
Right
So,
now,
Satish,
the
it's
27th is, I think it's open for us. It is for me. So we'd be talking about, so you're talking about maybe like 10 in the morning, 9 in the morning, your time?
Let's do it 9:30 in the morning, Satish. Otherwise, they're going to lose their sleep, they're going to deprive of the sleep because of us.
That'll be fine.
So let's do it 9:30 to 10:30, 1 hour, Satish, is it now?
Okay.
Yeah. 1 hour is more than enough.
Yeah.
The Q&A maybe
9:30
for
to
1 hour
10:30.
15.
Thursday.
What, did you say 1 hour 15, Satish?
About there with Q&As and then whatnot.
Yeah, sure. That's fine. That's fine.
But Ken, David, I will prep you. I will prepare you. Don't give them, you know this, right? Don't give them everything. Otherwise, I won't have anything to talk to them later.
We understand. Well, we can't in an hour and 15 minutes, especially us presenting for an hour. We won't have time to give them. What we'll want to talk about with you, and you'll strategize about this together, is what are the 3 or 4 big things you think they need to see? And of course, you're going to ask them questions as well, right? So what are the things you think they really need to see? Because there's way too many slides to do an hour and 15 minutes, right? So we want to be able to. We think. One of the things that will be important is, are these former or current 40X clients? So we need to talk about the differences, right? Those 4 big failure paths. So we'll strategize with you about how to do that. What are the things that you want to make sure we cover?
We can talk about the execution breakdown that causing engagement, productivity, retention issue, number 1. And to counter it, how leader plays the vital role. It's about leadership now, the leadership emphasis. And then how do you build the habit of focused execution, rather the culture of focused execution. 3 things.
Okay, gotcha.
So it's 28. So we have, this is basically, David, to read the gauge the pulse of the 20 different companies that are going to join. Let's see how well they're responding, and then whether we can create any immediate opportunities, a pipeline, then we will go and work with them.
Gotcha, cool.
If we don't do this by the April 28th, we won't be able to go live by 1st May.
Gotcha, cool.
Great. We look forward to it.
And I will, if I get all this from you, every single thing that I asked from David, if I can get it from you this week, I'll go for the printing by next Monday.
Good, okay, cool.
Because we already got the endorsement from HRDC. The next endorsement is the participant kit, the workbook endorsement. That's all. We are good.
Okay.
Great.
Thank you so much, David. Ken, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate
everybody.
this.
See you, Nadia.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Have a great day.
You too.
Have a good sleep, Ken.
Thanks.
David,
Yeah.
have a good sleep. Thank
Thanks.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.